I just want to thank everybody for coming. This whole event has just been an amazing experience. Just working with the team here at the Trans Academy, everybody has just pulled their weight. This has been such a cool thing. And honestly, like, this is an event that should have taken months to plan, and everybody came together and just did this amazing job in like 2 weeks to throw this together. And I just want to thank Phia, and I want to thank Shay and Colby and everybody on the team. And Phia is here today because, as a lot of you know, she has done an incredible video about the Academy and just what we're doing here in our community. And we just want to say thank you. And we're going to ask Phia some questions, and yeah, should be fun.
Heck yeah. Very excited.
Sophia, I want to thank you for the amazing video. I don't think it comes as a surprise to anyone here, but you've definitely helped give visibility to our community, to a lot of people. I know a number in the crowd have found us through you, so I want to say thanks for that.
Aw. Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. It means the world to me. I think what I care about more than anything else when it comes to VR, obviously, I crafted my whole channel around this exact reason, is that I just feel so much passion and excitement for VR and VR chat and what's going on here and all the amazing things that it's brought to me. And so my hope with all my videos is that I can share that kind of excitement for other aspects of VR so that people watching my videos find that same connection with it that I do, maybe in just a different way, or finding the community that they need to. So yeah, it's really my honor to be able to showcase what you guys are doing here, because I really do find it really special and inspiring, and something that's obviously only possible in a place like VR. So of course, nothing but love for everybody here.
An amazing ally for sure. So you not only make videos, you also stream a lot too on Twitch under Phia Bunny. That's amazing. I know a lot of people here. I apologize. A lot of people here, again, have found you through your videos and your streaming. I was wondering if anyone here had any questions for Phia. Mala.
Okay, I will repeat the questions so that Discord can hear it. Or so the stream can hear it through Discord. Yes! Yes, that's an interesting question. So to repeat, basically was asking what was my thought process whenever I was picking out an avatar for my 7 days in VR chat, or 7 days as a guy in VR chat video that I posted probably about a year ago, probably 1 year ago actually. And obviously the whole point of that video was that yes, I went into VR chat under an alt account. I created this character. His name was Sasuke Guchiha. Oh, I'm proud of that one. And I went around VR chat with a voice changer and attempted to just kind of indulge myself in the life of like, how do people treat me if I look and sound and move my body like a dude? Because obviously that's something I can't pull off IRL. You guys hear me, I giggle like the most girly thing you've ever heard. And so it was a really interesting experiment. As far as picking out the avatar goes, I had this imaginary persona going in of exactly what I wanted. I think even in my bio, I put in my bio kind of the imaginary guy that I was. Sasuke Guchiha was a 24-year-old dude, lives with his parents in the basement. You know, he dropped out of school and he doesn't got a job, and he is an e-boy, and he just hangs out in VR chat all the time with his mute girlfriend. And so I really tried to embody kind of this funny character. And the avatars, I actually went through quite a few. So I didn't buy an avatar or customize any kind of avatar for that video. I actually just went through VR chat undercover on my alt and was just looking at people who are like, okay, that's a good boy avatar, that's a good e-boy, oh, that one's got cat ears, maybe that's a good one. And I went through a variety of different choices. The main avatar that I used was the one that you saw in the video. I don't have it saved anymore because whoever uploaded it removed it. I was so sad. I was like, Sasuke Guchiha is dead. What can I do now? But there was a few different avatars that I did try. One of them, super glammed up and blitzy with all the piercings and the long nails and just full all of it, and people wanted like nothing to do with me whenever I was that Sasuke Uchiha. I did one that was a little more like neutral, maybe less glam on it, just one of those classic like wolf boy avatars, and people, yeah, I don't know, it was really interesting how differently I was treated as a guy as well in the different avatars that I was using. So I didn't really go in with a specific plan outside of the imaginary character that I had made, but I did try a lot of different avatars in the process, and ultimately the one I ended up keeping was the one I had by the end of the video. So hopefully that answers maybe a longer answer than anticipated, but yes, thank you for asking a question.
Thanks so much. I think we have another question right here. What does it take to make your videos like you do? Also, a fan of your vids are why I joined VR Chat in the first place. I found the Academy through watching your videos.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that you found the Academy through watching my videos. That's amazing. That's exactly the kind of thing I love to hear come into a place like that, or like this, is stuff like that. What does it take to make a video like I do? My videos are kind of, the process is very interesting. There's a lot of different parts that I guess I could talk about, but I'm gonna assume it kind of, your question maybe relates specifically to like, what certain things do I have to do and what efforts do I have to put in to create a video on my channel. For a video like where I'm highlighting communities such as the furry community or the trans community, I always go in with a basic idea of the topic or the community or the theme that I want to cover, but I never go in with anything pre-structured ahead of time, and I really make sure I take the time to immerse myself in the place or the community that I'm trying to check out, and as well as the same time make sure I'm talking to and doing interviews with people who are involved in what I'm trying to learn about. Because obviously I'm not trans myself, I am not a furry myself, I don't do flight simulators like I did in that one video, and so what it takes for me is I want to learn from the people who do immerse themselves in these ways every single day and talk to them. And then based off of the responses that I get, I actually take those hours of footage of me exploring the community and the worlds and talking for interviews and stuff, and I go through very meticulously and I cut up every single little bit into a way that I feel makes sense and condenses into a good story, and I write my entire script around that. And so once I have all the information that I feel is important to share and I can line it up in a way that I think makes sense, then altogether it is good. It makes a nice video. It just takes a few days of editing, that's for sure.
For sure. I think it's amazing to go through these different roles, like your Sasuke, Uchiha, and the furry video you did with an open mind as well, and really try to give a good, honest view of things. So amazing for that. Do we have any more questions for Phia?
I see. So is your question about what are my thoughts on social VR applications specifically, or just upcoming VR applications? Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not familiar with the one you mentioned myself, so I can't insert any thoughts on that. But there are a plentiful array of other social VR applications out there right now. Obviously, Neos being a huge one. Neos people are freaking awesome. Chill Out VR is, I haven't spent too much time in there, but Chill Out is also really cool. I've also been spending a lot of time lately in Zenith VR, which is VR MMO, Super Sword Art Online-y, and I've actually found that one to be really interesting because it's come a long way since its launch a couple years ago, and it has become a very social application for me where I'm enjoying my time spending it with other people rather than just playing the game itself. And so I would really hope in the future that there's more upcoming titles like that where instead of seeing clones that are trying to copy necessarily maybe the idea of VR chat, going for something, whoa, hello. I know I kept on touching this whenever I was out there too. It's so easy to click onto the chairs. Also, hi, Rue.
Rue, one of our amazing event coordinators. Thank you.
Yes. Special guest appearance. But yeah, I mean, I have my heart open. I think VR chat as a platform is really amazing and has something really special, but I will never tie myself down to being just a VR chat enthusiast. I am a social VR enthusiast as a whole, and I think there's so much more to come that VR chat either doesn't offer currently that other platforms do, or that I'm excited for future platforms to fill the gaps to where VR chat might not necessarily be able to fill. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, definitely. I hope to see more and more as time goes on. There's only up for more VR stuff. The more that we're all spending time in here and buying VR equipment and software, the more people are able to make things. So it's a happy cycle. Yeah, totally. Well, first off, thank you for watching my channel. It makes me very happy to to know that it was able to inspire you to come join in VR chat. Sorry, Deshay, was there something, or should I keep going?
No, feel free.
Oh, okay. But yeah, as far as what inspired me whenever I created my channel, so it was a very small gap period between me discovering VR chat and then getting VR and then making my channel. It was kind of this crazy, overwhelming feeling that I had. So I got my VR headset for Christmas of 2019, and as soon as I put it on, I was like, this is the best thing I have ever done. This is my favorite. I love this. VR chat, my avatar, like there's like something crazy is going on here. And I became so compelled by it. I was in college at the time, and I was dual enrolled at community college and a four-year school. And I was driving to the four-year school being like, oh, man, I hate school. I don't know what I want to do with my life. Oh, man, like I don't want to, I was studying English. I was like, I don't want to study English. I'm only doing this because there's nothing better that I like. And it hit me as I was driving. I was like, God, you know what I want to do? I want my life to be about VR. I just found this thing, and I've never felt like more passionate about anything than like literally in my entire life. And I was like, okay, I want my job to be about VR. And this was in February that I was driving, and I had this thought, and it occurred to me, okay, well, I don't know anything about game development or coding. I'm not an engineering person with that kind of brain that's good with 3D modeling or any of that, stuff. I'm bad with computers. And so I was like, what am I good at? And I was like, well, I'm good at talking, and I'm good at being excited. So I was like, well, I'll just talk about VR and be excited about it and try and share that with people. And so that was my idea. And the very same day that I had those thoughts is when I went home. I had written an entire first video script on my notes while at school in class. And I took that home and I recorded the entire video. I edited the whole video and I posted it to the channel as the first video. Hello. On probably like 1 a.m. that morning. And then from there, it's just, I've been doing it ever since, just because it's just so exciting. It just overwhelmed me. So that hopefully that answers and tells you a little bit about how I got inspired and got started.
Great question.
Yeah, thank you very much for being here.
So very quick, we'll get to your question in a moment. I think Colby had something that you wanted to say.
Hi, Colby.
Yeah, so talking about, hi, Phia. How
I love Colby.
Me too.
How has VR chat and VR in general influenced you in the way that you see yourself, or your style, your clothing? And how has your style that you inherently had coming into VR influenced your virtual persona? Like, has there been a blend, or do you find that there's things that inspire you to have a look for clothes, whether it's like a tech wear or a particular style in real life? Like, what in this cyberspace influences you?
That's a great and really fun question. So I have a whole new look. Obviously, in the video, I probably should have said this before. I just got this new model made. I debuted it a little over a month ago. So we've been calling it Phia
About that.
2.0. I had made my model in 2019, right as I was talking about that I started my channel, and I designed it after myself. And the funny part is that I actually created the model before I got into VR, and the reason that I made the model was because of clothes, because of fashion. My favorite brand at the time was, they're from Japan, they're called Cloma, and it's this high fashion Japanese brand where it's very, very special. It's all handmade. It's just beautiful, unlike any style I'd ever seen before. If neo-futuristic Y2K, really, really cool, and I loved it so much. And they were selling their versions of the jackets that I was really interested in with download codes for VRoid Studio. And so if you bought one of these jackets, you got the download code for the matching jacket to create your avatar. And so I was so compelled by this fashion, this virtual fashion myself, that I created my avatar around that. And that's kind of what inspired me to get into VR. And from there, obviously, I started getting kind of obsessed with this whole virtual fashion idea. And so I started taking outfits that I had IRL and putting them on my VR avatar, and vice versa, where I was seeing different outfits in VRoid or in VR chat, and I was like, oh, maybe I could, try and recreate this style and whatnot. But overall, my biggest thing that I've always tried to do is blend the line between my virtual persona, my virtual body, and my IRL or physical body. And I see them as both very equal and valid versions of myself. I don't see as one more myself than the other. And that's something that I've been very excited about for getting my new 2.0 model, especially, is I felt like I was a little bit overdue. I grew out of my 19-year-old VRoid body. I'm 23 now. And so, yeah, I would say that my online identity and my physical identity have really converged, and yeah, they're really intertwined at this point, so.
Thank you so much. Jammers had a question regarding beginning streaming and stuff, specifically with equipment, but I think we can evolve that question as well a little bit. And do you have any advice for people who want to start streaming and doing what you do?
Yeah, totally. Well, yeah, so which equipment and software is required than normal PC VR stuff? So for me, as far as my general workflow goes for filming and making videos in VR, I literally just take out the VR chat camera, I set it to the follow me so that it watches me while I'm moving and smoothing, put a little bit of, focus blur in there, make it look all pretty and nice, and I just record that straight on OBS. I use the index mic. Right now I'm using the big screen Beyond, but I messed up my audio settings so it doesn't sound quite like it's supposed to. But both of those microphones are just inherently really great. And so just match that with my full body tracking and whatnot. I take my videos, throw it into Premiere Pro, chop it up, and that's about all I really do. It's nothing fancy, really. As far as advice goes, for anybody who's interested in creating content, whether that's YouTube videos or streaming, really the best advice I can give is to not overthink it. I think a lot of people really try to make things perfect when they're posting videos. For example, they'll start editing a video and be like, oh, I'm not happy with this, everybody else is so much better. If you watch my first videos, they freaking stank. They were so bad, the quality was was not great, but at the end of the day, I was just having fun doing it, and I think it's the same for anybody else. If you just put stuff out there and you're having fun with it, people are going to be drawn to that. So, just give it a go and start and try your best. Find something that's unique to you. So, don't hold back. If you like it, then it'll all work out.
Thanks so much. Goblin, you've been sitting here very quietly for a little while now. Goblin is one of our fellow panelists.
Yeah, sorry, I had some technical difficulties. But no, I don't have anything in particular to bring up.
Okay,
Cool.
perfect. Didn't want to leave you there quietly without saying anything. Oh. Yeah, sure. What do you got?
Hey, that's a really interesting question. Is there a subject I'd like to update or revisit? So I actually did that about a year ago. One of my first videos that I was really passionate about was my Phantom Touch video. I felt like nobody really covers that. You know what I mean? Like, it's this awesome thing everybody talks about, but there's not much video coverage on. And so that was an example of one thing where I was like, yes, I have to remake that. The other video that I've been really thinking about trying to remake as of lately is my video with VR dancers, the VR dancing video. I made 2 versions back when I posted. That was about 2 years ago now. God, I feel old. When I posted one about the, IDA specifically, and then also talked to like Dusty Dust Bunny with the VR Dance Academy. And then I had a second one that was about the exotic VR dancers, the pole dancers and the lap dancers and all of that kind of stuff. And I would really love now, with all the crazy updates with full body tracking and all the extra trackers and smoothing and how good everything looks now in comparison, that is a video that is well overdue for a revamp. So yes.
That would be an amazing video. I know you recently had Dust Bunny and her group again at one of your events. And
Yes, I
they taught everyone how
did.
to waltz.
It was so fun.
It was a great time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was very cool. So I would love to see more of that.
I definitely will.
Do we have any more questions?
My first day on VR chat. That's a great question. I remember some of the first moments that I had when I was on VR chat for the first time. I was on desktop. I don't remember who the first people I talked to were. I remember that I was really nervous. I think it was the second session. I think I opened up the game and I was like, okay, I have too much social anxiety for this. I don't know how to talk to people. But the second, the second session where I loaded in, I met a couple people and they took me to a Legend of Zelda themed world. And that's the moment I decided that I needed to buy a VR headset because I am just a massive, massive Zelda fan. And so that was really, really early on, probably my second session where I saw that, and that's what made me get a VR headset. So hopefully close enough. Yeah, so how do I find communities just like the Academy here? I am obviously very ingrained in VR culture at this point. I have friends kind of everywhere, and I'm really lucky that I joined VR chat at the time I did, because it means that a lot of the connections and people that I met early on are now going off and leading different communities, kind of like how I met Tizzy before before creating the Trans Academy, and now I'm here. So I think having a lot of those connections is usually how I find out about the cool things that people are doing, just about word of mouth. But the other way that I do it is I go like a crazy mad lady through Twitter and Reddit every few days, and I just search VR chat and I look everywhere, and I'm just like, okay, what's happening in VR chat world? What are the new things going on? Who are the new content creators? Are there any new events that people are reposting and whatnot? And I really go out of my way to try and stay in tabs with as much as possible. But the more people you know, the more they're able to kind of guide you in the right direction of where really cool things are happening that maybe people don't know too much about yet. So that's kind of how my scouting process goes.
Amazing, thank
And
you.
Ultima had a question.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I did attend Ferality. I actually did a panel during Ferality with Thrill, my boyfriend, because we're both, VR-centric YouTubers. And I did a panel and I put on my furry avatar. I have a cute little Phia bunny. I call it furry with a PH. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed going to Ferality. I wish I could have had time to check it out more, but Thrill was very, very sick that weekend, so we had to take it a little easier. But yes, I'm a huge supporter of Ferality. You guys are freaking awesome. Yeah, so what is inspiring me to keep continuing? Do you mean just engaging with them over time? Yeah, I mean, it comes down to just liking people and making friends. I think I really enjoy coming back to places like the Trans Academy, for example, because I'm just such good friends with Tizzy and Colby and Shay, and you know, getting to meet so many of the people here. It's a real joy to be around these people, and you know, so many people are doing different crazy things in the VR chat world, and I guess seeing people who are just as enthusiastic and excited for VR as I am is just what I want to surround myself with. So that's why I continue to stick around. What is one event that I hold dearly to myself that's happened on VR chat? Well, there's a lot of events that I could probably put into that category. I would say likely my events that I hold the most dearly is probably the ones that I get to do with Thrill. Thrill's my boyfriend, Thrill Seeker on YouTube, if you guys know him. Whenever we first met, we were able to put together some different meetups, and you know, every year we're now having like this giant like Christmas rave party, and I think that's really special for me because getting to meet the community that both from his side of YouTube and both my side of YouTube, everybody coming together and just kind of celebrating and partying and dancing and talking. I really feel like those are my people, and it's just beyond comforting. And some of the events have turned into really cool. We even had a cross-portal IRL event back during TwitchCon last October. And so it's kind of hard to pick just one, but combining those communities, I think that's the most special to me.
Thank you so much. I think Ultima had a question over here.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly which headset you're referencing. Do you recall the name of which one that was? Okay, that's fine. I know that there's been, so the question, just to relay it for Discord, is about upcoming hardware and how there's kind of these headsets that are attempting to have that, you know, what do you call it, like brain-controlled interfaces where, yeah, well, full dive, it's sort of online headsets. It's exactly... Honestly, you just put it the most simply. It's full dive. Full dive VR headsets. And I guess you said that there's one that's supposed to be like $25,000 coming out. I am not totally familiar with that myself, so I'd have to look into it. It sounds awesome. There's a few projects I know that have been attempting to do similar things. My thoughts on that are... It sounds like vaporwave. Vaporwave aesthetic? Yes. Book it with the cash, with their big crazy idea that they can't make happen. I see what you mean. Well, yeah, full dive technology, I would say, is equally as exciting as it is horrifying, and I kind of love it for that. I think it's something to be very cautionary and wary of. Having anything connected to your brain is kind of a big deal. I mean, even so far as I know, Thrill has been working on developing some like eye tracking related application demos for the Quest Pro, specifically inspired by the whole announcement of the Apple Vision Pro, which is eye tracked as well. And even that alone, it's really interesting watching him go and try to develop stuff because they are so protective over what kind of data you can use whenever you're using pass-through, specifically with eye tracking and whatnot, because that's such a sensitive piece of data and piece of information. And so it's one of those things where, do we really want people seeing what we're looking at and how our pupils are dilating when we look at something we like and whatnot, or hacking into our brains? But at the same time, I know for myself, I am such a dreamer, and the idea of virtual reality and full dive technology, getting to really immerse yourself in a world and feeling like you're truly and actually there is gotta be just the coolest thing I could ever imagine. It's turning your dreams into reality, quite literally. And so my thoughts on it are, I am all for it. I am a supporter. I am excited. But I am also somebody where I really want to make sure that when things are happening and there are headsets that are probably will be cheaper than $25,000, hopefully one day, that we're really smart about how we allow it and how we integrate it into our society, really. Oh yeah, there's a lot of headsets that are going to be coming out. Definitely. Shay?
Can't wait to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I just want to swing swords, okay?
Alright, everyone. I think we're getting close to that technology. Maybe not the full dive, but I do see some games starting to come out, like Zenith. You've been playing it lately.
Yes.
It looks very
Mhm.
promising.
It is really, really fun.
Absolutely. We are nearing the end of our scheduled time. I just wanted to know if any of our other co-hosts had anything to say.
I
Or do we
just
have
wanted
any
to
further?
say, Phia,
Oh, go
like
ahead.
honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for everything you've done for our community. And thank you for using your platform to raise awareness of the Academy and just trans issues in general. I think that is super cool of you, and I think you're an amazing ally. And let's give Phia a round of applause because, like, honestly, like, she's amazing. She's such a cool person, and she's like so
Thank
enthusiastic.
you. You're
and
too sweet.
she's great.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So once again, you can find Phia. She has her channel, The Virtual Reality Show, on YouTube, and she streams on Twitch at Phia Bunny. You should check her out. She just makes amazing stuff. That's it. I think.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for having me, and thank you to everybody who came and asked questions. It's, like I said, it's a real honor to be here and participate. What everybody is doing here is really, really cool, and everybody contributes in their own ways. So I feel very privileged and very thankful. So appreciate it, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for coming.